So it seems a lot of people these days are getting non-invasive procedures like Botox or fillers, things like that, but it's not impacting what they're spending on skincare. So with me today is Yvonne from NIQ, and we're going to dig into how these consumers are actually purchasing skincare products. So thanks for joining us. And what kind of these procedures are getting popular and who is getting them?
Yeah, so what we're seeing is Botox or neurotoxins and fillers are the two more popular procedures that are being done. And it is the leading demographic that is getting these procedures are Gen Xers, but they are, yeah, me too.
I'm not getting them, but my generation, yeah.
Right, and we're being closely behind, followed by boomers and surprisingly millennials.
Okay, and I've seen a lot of millennials, especially like in my neighborhood in New York, a lot of millennials getting them. I'm seeing a lot of duck lips around there, so that's pretty popular look these days.
Yep.
I want to age naturally,
Yep.
and just the wrinkles are fine. That's with like Sean Connery type.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna embrace it. But how is this impacting face care? Because this is what I found really interesting.
Interestingly enough, a lot of statistics around this, but okay, so about half of the facial care buyers or skincare buyers, they spend at least $500 a year on skincare. And a good portion, about 6% of these health and beauty shoppers say that these procedures do not completely replace any of their skincare routines. So that is, the bright side there is, we don't expect that they're going to be purchasing fewer products to maintain them at home.
So they're already spending a lot of money on these procedures, and then they're spending money on skincare. So yeah, price is not a big factor with this crowd. But they also, and this kind of makes sense when you brought this up in a presentation yesterday, is that they consider themselves more knowledgeable about skincare. And I do have a friend who has a place that does a lot of these non-invasive procedures. And I really agree with that statement, because when I've hung out with her in her place, you see the people who come in for these procedures, they hang out, they talk about stuff. They're constantly talking and sharing, both with the owner, with the experts that are there. So they're learning and they're really interested in it. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But what does this mean for mass and premium skincare?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. People are much more knowledgeable these days. They have access to so much more information than before. So as a mass brand, our recommendation would be to lean on the expertise and the knowledge that their shoppers have. And make sure to also, though, talk about the clinical test messaging and make sure that that's easy to see on the packaging. And then for premium brands, we would say leverage your unique product value, and if your product can serve multiple functions, to make sure to call that out too in your packaging or your advertising.
Gotcha. And again, it doesn't sound like pricing is not going to be an issue, but if you are a premium, you got to explain why you're premium.
Exactly, justifying the higher price point. Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for this.
Thanks, Joe.